This is how you attack Watchpoint Gibraltar with Winston. Hey, what's up everyone? Ace of Spades here, back with another Overwatch map review guide. So, we just talked about defending Watchpoint Gibraltar with Winston, and now let's go ahead and talking about the attack. Since, you know, everyone has trouble with this on second point, and yeah, let's go tell you the secrets into getting this point pretty easy. So, first point, pretty straightforward. You know, Winston, you always want to be thinking about contesting high grounds. So when you get out, bang, you want to jump up and fight here. The one thing you have to be careful for on jumping here is if they have like a diva or a ball, a lot of them will like hide here and be like, ooh, I'm gonna get the Winston, because right when you jump here, they're gonna like push you in and then you just get trapped and you die. So when you're going to be, you know, jumping from this corner, you just have to be like kind of aware for that, and then make sure, you know, you walk up back to like the corner. So if they do try and push you, you're just getting hit into here. So when you jump, try and maneuver yourself to get to this corner, and then you can always just, you know, peek, put bubble, and go from there. Don't just jump and then play out in the open like this, because you're just going to get pushed in and killed if you don't see their tank. So they're just trying to bait you, so don't fall for that. Be a smart Winston player. So then from here, once you've cleared out high ground, not really ideal to go down and zap from here. And the reason for that is their whole team is probably going to be playing up top. And if you try and come here to, you know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get some spam damage. If they rush you, there's not really much of an escape that you can do, because they're going to be able to shoot you and you'll probably die before getting healed, since your healers aren't going to be up here with you. They're going to be on point trying to get under. So don't push yourself and fight here unless you have like a full, you know, rush comp like Kiriko, like Lucio's with you, and then your whole rest of the team that you can go up there. Most of the time you're not going to have that. You're going to be by yourself with maybe one other DPS. So from here, once they push up, you can look for an engage onto the high ground. You just want to be doing soft dives for the first one. So like, hey, you know, cards push up, like, hey, I'm just gonna just like soft dive this, so land on the corner here, spam them out, and then you're just going to be dropping down, like when we landing, put your bubble, do zaps, and then just drop down to here. The only time you want to full commit is when your DPS are ready and, you know, the cart's pushed up, you know, a little bit. You kind of want to be looking for engages at the same time as your supports want to rotate under, because when the enemy team's sitting there, they're going to be waiting for that like Ana Zen to peek from here and to engage. So you kind of want to time your soft dive when they're going to want to push. So you're like, hey, you know, cards pushed up, okay, try and get to under, I'm gonna soft dive top, you know, 3 2 1 bang, and take the little gauge, and then you're just dropping off, helping your supports get under. And then from here you can go to, you know, contest high grounds again, all that stuff, try and get your supports into server room. Yeah, but you know, let's go ahead and talk about, so first point, since you know it probably will happen, you get card pushed, you lose this fight, and then now you're gonna have to refight from first. You always want to try and clear out the high ground. So from here, once cards pushed up past, you know, where like the generator is, you don't want to just be going from main the whole time. You want to tell your team to rotate to high ground, since you clear that off a lot easier, and then you can take the fight to point. So you can just do this pathing. You could either, you know, jump from main if you really wanted to, but saving your jump is pretty crucial. So going from here is fine, because then one, you can contest if somebody's trying to play up here. Two, you can just jump here to get off the rest of the DPS that are probably playing this corner. So a lot of the DPS players love this spot, since it contests everything that you can see, and it's in healer LOS. So either the tank or the DPS is going to be here using your jump just to, like, you know, get some extra damage and force them off when your team's pushing up is pretty good. So attacking, once you get to this spot, since this is what you're going to be fighting for the most of the time, then, you know, there's two options. One, you'd be jumping their DPS that are over here, and then two is you're going to be looking for like one of the squishies that are playing on this point, either like, you know, down there, maybe over there. something like that. So yeah, that's kind of all the spots kind of need to know for attacking on first point. Not really ever going to be going inside generator. That's not your job there. The DPS and supports can go there. You just want to contest high grounds and then look for engages onto, you know, the enemy DPS or squishies. So that covers that. Now going into second, probably the hardest point to cap once you lose first and the enemy team knows what they're doing. So let's go ahead and talk about that. If you get lucky enough to where, you know, you win first point and your whole team is here, then always get to the high ground and hold this for your team. So have all your teammates, you know, push up, contest high ground, and this just allows you to contest wherever the enemy team might want to be. So they're probably going to, you know, push up top, try and take this, you know, either get to here and the rest of the team is going to be trying to get high ground. So you just jumping up here first and not just sitting on cart allows you to contest tons of space and give your team the advantage. So always look to be up here on, you know, second point if you can. If you can't, then there's two options that you can do to try and get them off of, you know, the high ground. One is, you know, you have your team, you know, pushing through here, and once you know, walk a little bit, then you're going to want to look for engage. No matter what, you're going to want to look to engage up on this high ground first, and that just allows you to reset, like, you know, your jump cooldown. So then when you drop down here, you can zap and then engage, get out if you need to. The other way to it, if you can't, you know, push out through here because they're just like spamming at you a lot, so when you get out, you can't walk, then doing this is fine, like jumping under, waiting for the jump cooldown and be like, hey, give me a second before you guys push out because your team's probably going to be up there. Be like, okay, I'm taking top 3, 2, 1, go. And then your team pushes out at the same time as you engage, and then you all can try and, you know, get on the same target at the same time, which is the way to go when you're playing Winston. So that's one of the options. The other option is if you're going to be pushing out top with your teammates. So pushing out top of your teammates is fine too. You're going to be taking a lot more damage, but, you know, sometimes that's necessary to help your team cross. But you're still going to want to do the same thing, either depending on what, you know, abilities you have. You can put a bubble for your team and then, you know, jump just so the healers can free heal you. This is a lot more riskier since you don't have the bubble now, since you dropped it for your team to help them cross. So this is like if you have like primal, something you know, you can just, you don't really need that extra like survivability. But let's say you don't have primal and you still need to contest it, then saving your bubble and just, you know, jumping up top and then using it here, it still blocks a lot of the damage that coming through if their enemy team is playing high ground. So still does the same thing, it just gives you a little bit more survivability. So, you know, if your team's gonna use it, you know, has like a widow, soldier, castle or something like that, then yeah, like bubbling them at the choke before you jump is like fine because it protects them. But any other instance, you're probably going to be jumping and then using your bubble here, and then once you have this high ground, then, you know, you can drop and fight them. And that's why a lot of the, you know, tanks that I see on second point, they just be walking main all the time. They're not communicating where they're going to be jumping. They're just trying to jump to random corners and, you know, nothing happens, and then your team just gets completely stuffed. So think about those spots when trying to get to second point. So let's say, you know, you contested it like all the way, taking the fight, you know, here they have to recontest. Pushing up and trying to stuff these doors is pretty ideal because, you know, for one, if you play this corner, they can't see you because they're going to be coming out top, and then once they, you know, you're taking the fight here, then you can just rotate and then, you know, drop off, and then if they push up, then you can just redo your jump and do the land combo with bubble and everything. So contesting this top left spot is one of the better spots when the cart's like that close, and you just need to not let them recontest and get free value. So yeah, that kind of covers most of second. So now going into third. So couple options going into third. One is for the first fight, they're probably going to be, you know, like top right. So you have to be careful when you jump and you go like this, because you're going to be in LOS of all their damage and their healers. So when you're pushing up, help your DPS, you know, get to, you know, the corner here like safely, and then once they're ready, then you can go ahead and engage together. So they're going to be on bridge, or going up the steps to bridge, and then you're going to be right here at the same time to engage on them. So with Winston, it's a lot of communication. Don't try and do things by yourself. Always be ready, you know, with healers, DPS, and you just have way more success. So be thinking about that, and you'll have way better value. But yeah, let's go ahead and say you have like a Genji. Then coming over here on the first jump is fine, because one, they can't really contest you from over there. The Genji will be able to come up with you, and then you're gonna want, you can just jump over and engage them on here at the same time, you know, as your Genji, and then your team can push through. This spot is good for when they have widows, because a lot of widows love to play this corner here, snipe your team, or they'll play like here and then, you know, just be peeking this. So being able to contest from here and just engaging them is, you know, pretty solid. I haven't checked if they patched this, so I guess, you know, this will be new. On Overwatch 1, you could just like jump over here, and I guess it is still here. So there you go. That is that's how you'd, this is like, well, one of the better landing spots for Winston then. So that's like the safer one, but for going over the top, so you don't have to actually have to use your leap. So it was one of like the most, you know, OP spots that a lot of like Winston players didn't know about. A lot of like everyone in the pro scene knew, but everyone else really didn't. Nobody ever made a guide on it. So you're gonna want to just be jumping and then holding down your A and W key, and you jump across, and you can do it, you know, every time. You have to be making sure you hold down those keys, because if you just try and like, you know, jump into it, you're just gonna be getting trapped, and then you're like, oh dude, I can't do it, and then, you know, you just sitting there looking like a dummy the whole time. Okay, so those are the two spots how you're gonna want to attack third in the beginning. So let's say, you know, those two ways worked, either up to here or jumping over the top. One of those worked, and then you have all this cart space. You don't want to just be playing out back in the open as Winston, or, you know, really like playing up here, since it doesn't really contest much high grounds, and you still have to like, you know, push forward and get an engage. One of the better spots with Winston is if they're going to be coming through, you can be stuffing the doors. I like playing on this side, since if you're playing on this side, a lot of the teams will be pushing out and then looking this way, since that's where your DPS are going to be. You want to make the enemy team turn around to look at you, because if they do that, then your DPS have a lot easier time, you know, shooting them, since they're not going to be getting focused a lot. And you still from here have engages, so if they, you know, push out here, try and dive you, then bang, you're just going to be out here safe, and your teammates should be here to heal you. So if you know, win those fights here, and they're going to be doing like a recontest fight, I like playing this spot as Winston as they come out. I never really play on that side ever, and the reason is it's just like not a lot of people come out through that side, and if it is, it's like, you know, a widow, or, you know, maybe like one DPS, but one of your other DPS should be, you know, always be paying attention and looking that side anyways. So you just want to be clearing out like, you know, the main spot. This is the fastest spot to point. So yeah, don't really, you know, worry about having to stuff this door when you can just, you know, do that one that mostly everyone's going to be coming out from. So yeah, I think that covers everything you need to know about WATCHPOINT Gibraltar on attack. So yeah, hopeful was helpful for you guys. learned how to, you know, attack, position, all that good stuffs. But yeah, till next video, if you guys are not subscribed, please do. It does help a lot. And every Tuesday, Friday, coming out with these map guides. So till the next one, peace.